This week we've seen new Team of the Week cards, new Game Breakers with this 87 overall Martin Niches, also marquee rookie cards which I believe a lot of people would like to have on their teams, and also a new line combination because of the Brent Burns milestone card. And with all this content being released this week, it's time for the weekly cold takes about the content, what is good, what is bad, and what I would like to change. So let's start with the Game Breakers, starting from 80 overall all the way to the 87. And I can bet that a lot of people in the community would love to get their hands on Martin Niches card. And not only because he fit quite a lot of lineup combinations, he's also one of the best cards in the game. Just the skating stats are insane. 92 acceleration and speed, 91 agility, 85 balance and 88 endurance. Shooting is pretty much all 88, the hands are all about 90, the checking and defensive stats are also good for a forward, and to have a quick release and also elite edges straight away makes this one of the best right-handed wingers we have in the game. But my issue as every other content week is that we cannot make any of these cards. You can of course complete the Game Breaker objectives where you will get yourself 6 collectibles, which is fun, and then let's say trade in the collectibles for 1 BND, 1 untradeable or 80 plus tradable card. And I know that a lot of people in the community, including myself, completed the objectives, went and traded in the collectibles just for a hope that they will pull something good. And I also can say that majority of us probably pulled an 80 overall player, because I did. What I would like is something higher than 80 plus. I know you can go with let's say 84 BND. Why it's not 84 plus if it's a BND? This straight away would make this BND set much better. At this point, when everyone already have pretty much stuck teams, not a lot of people really need the 84 overall BND card. I also don't think that having 182 would massively help you, so the obvious set would be just to go and trade in the collectibles for a tradable card. But I would like to know how many people actually pulled something higher than let's say 83 overall card. Like, seriously. Why just don't make the sets where you have to, let's say, maybe make the collectibles and then you can go and make Martin Niches? Just give us an option, because in my opinion, and I said this every single year, every single card they release should be obtainable by sets, or you can pull it in the pack. If you want to go and buy him, it will cost you quite a lot. Basically 900,000 coins. Not a lot of people even have that many coins. And the people who have probably already have stuck teams and they're potentially investing in fantasy cards instead of chasing an 87 overall card. But yes, my point is that if you're releasing all these really incredible cards, don't hide them behind the packs. Make a sets where even if someone really want to go and let's say spend all their fodder or some coins to buy cards to make it, at least there is an option. Because even if they would release the set, I really doubt that it would cost you 900,000 coins to make it. Other than that, I don't mind the Game Breakers being released every other week, and I think it's quite fun. Also, if you look at the cards in general being released, they release the content around the lineup combinations. They keep releasing the cards which people really want to get, because obviously Martin Niches, Colorado Avalanche, Czechia, so fits the lineup combinations for overall boosts. They did the same thing with let's say Anaheim Ducks players, Chicago Blackhawks, Edmonton Oilers, again another one from Czechia in the prior drop. We also have the Islanders and left-handed defenseman from Philadelphia Flyers. And we all know that if we pair let's say Makar with Philadelphia Flyers defenseman, you can get that +2 overall boost. I have a feeling that they are releasing the cards not because of their actual performance in real hockey, but how it fits the lineup combinations. So every single content release is around that. And in some ways, there is really nothing wrong with it, but it just makes these cards more expensive. I already touched and discussed the rewards in general in the last video, so I don't really want to go over that again, but you cannot really earn anything to even make these cards. So the only way of you actually getting some of these cards is to wait when the prices are dropping in the auction house, spend a lot of money on packs, or just hope that later in the year or at some point you'll get lucky in one of those, I don't know, 79 plus overall packs you can get by exchanging your collectibles. Same thing applies to these marquee rookie cards. I'd love to see them they're releasing, let's say, younger players, because a lot of people are hyped and really would love to get some of them for their teams. And as you can see, they start at 81 overall and go all the way to the 85. And also pretty much everyone fits some sort of lineup combination, so not only then these cards would be fun to use, they also would offer you some sort of boost. Most of the time it would be the AP, because if you let's say use the marquee players, I think it's the AP you're getting. Some of them would fit the overall boost. But if we go over to the sets, there is a marquee set where you can trade in 879 overall cards and you would get 180 plus overall marquee player in return. The 79s are currently going on the auction house for 2,900 coins. So to do this set, it will cost you a little bit over 23,000. And I think this is way too expensive considering it's an 80 plus and you most likely will end up with getting an 80 or 81 overall from the prior releases. If you're releasing this sort of set, why don't you make the entry barrier level, let's say 78 overall cards? There is really no any use for them at the moment, and that would make people actually use their fodder or some other crap they pull in, let's say the daily login packs or the weekly headliners, usable. usable. It's not like they're giving us in return an 85 overall card. Because at the same time, if you trade in 3 79s, you get an 81 overall card. That's at least a guaranteed fodder. Or you can also trade in 5 79s and get an 82 overall captain, which also can be used as a fodder later in the year. And that's why, just in general, this set is definitely not worth it. If you have a lot of fodder and you wanna, let's say, have some fun, go ahead and do it. I would never recommend anyone trading in 8 79s for 180. And the reason why is that if you have to spend 23,000 coins for doing the set, and most likely you would end up with something worth 5, 6, 10k, how you can justify the cost? But hey, if you look at the stats for some of the players, let's say even at 85, looks cool. I would love to try him out. Decent skating, decent shooting, decent hands, also ankle breaker and pressure plus. But for me, probably would be easier just to go and buy the card. The issue is, the 85 costs you 244 or 235,000 coins. Beckett Seneki, for example, as well, looks incredible. 6'3", 206, big rig and also quick release, really good skating, decent hands and decent shooting, not a single one on the auction house. So there is really no even way of me going and buying him if I want to try him out. And then there is a player, I cannot pronounce his name or surname, and he also don't have the picture. But hey, it's a left-handed defenseman from Minnesota Wild and also USA. And because we have the new lineup combination for the defenseman, you can get his overall up, and that's why someone is trying to sell him for 600,000 coins. Like, really, it's an 84 overall card. No one would ever buy him. So yes, love the idea, love that they're releasing so many different cards, but there is no point of releasing these sort of cards if you cannot really make any of these players. You're also not giving us enough rewards to be able to pull any of these cards, so the only way is just go and buy any of them in the auction house, which is not really the right way of running the Ultimate Team in my opinion. But now let's move to the team of the week. This week we have 86 overall Matthew Boldy. Love to see that Minnesota Wild is getting so much love this week. We also have 83 overall Elias Lindholm, Alexei Protas, and of course we also have Dmitry Orlov, Nils Lundqvist, and Scott Wedgwood. In all fairness, Matthew Boldy, if you're a fan of the player or the team, looks fun, but he's definitely not better than any other cards released. I still think that Tage Thompson is probably the best team of the week card we've seen, and he doesn't even fit any of the lineup combinations. Maybe that's why he's the best. But Rocket and also Unstoppable would be fun to see how he plays. Is this the card to go and make? I don't think so. Obviously the shooting is all about 88. The speed is decent, and because he's from USA, you can get some of the lineup combination boosts as well, so you could boost his overall a little bit. The combination you could apply is, let's say, USA player and 2 players from New York Rangers, so that would make his skating 89 and the acceleration 89. But yeah, I don't really know. Did he deserve a team of the week card? I don't really follow the Minnesota Wild hockey so much, but in general, it's just nice to see that one team is getting so much love. And I just hope that we will see this kind of trend every single week, where one team will be highlighted more than another's, and at some point maybe we will see a lot of players from Kraken, maybe Rangers, Devils, Islanders, and stuff like that. The cost of the sets are exactly the same as it was for Tage Thompson. You need to trade in 583 overall team of the week players, and to make 183 overall team of the week player, you need to trade in 3 81s and 180 overall card. I like that the team of the week objectives this week are not something ridiculous once again, because all you have to do is just make passes, get assists, score goals, and complete games. So once again, if you, let's say, have around 5 team of the week players, put them in their lineup, play a few cup chase games, and you would be done, and that would allow you to get 183 overall team of the week. And if someone is asking which one to choose, then there is a lot of good options. Elias Lindholm from Sweden, so fits some of the lineup combinations, also have quick release, decent skating, and 92 face-off stats. So even if you play online, this card is usable. Nils Lundqvist, for whatever reason, always plays good for me. I'm using his 80 overall check my game card on my 3rd defensive pair, and he just plays phenomenal. Once I will complete my objectives, I probably will pick him and just use this card instead. Yes, I will lose some of the AP boosts, but I just like his card. Dmitry Orlov actually looks quite bad. They couldn't just make his card even worse, I think. And same thing about Alexei Protas. Yes, he can play in the face-off position because he have 90 face-off stats, but the speed and acceleration is only 86. And then we have 6'2" goalkeeper with 88 speed and 68 aggression, who is also, in my opinion, not really usable. So for me personally, I think Elias Lindholm is the best choice, and then after that, for me personally, it would be Nils Lundqvist. We also receive new Prime event cards with Jordan Kyrou, who is probably one of the fastest players as always. We also have Mattias Lindholm, Swedish defenseman, Ryan Ellis, who is also 81 overall defenseman from Philadelphia Flyers, Jasper Bratt, another Swede. And yes, these are, in my opinion, good team cards to, let's say, if you're building Rangers team, Oilers team, maybe you want to pick Tristan Jarry and play your cup chase. I would not really recommend using him online, but hey, some of these cards definitely are usable. But again, you cannot really make any of them. For you, the only chance of you getting it would be to trade in your 79s for 81s, and then trade in the 81 face-off event cards for 83s. You cannot get anyone higher. As far as you don't really want to go and trade in 30 collectibles for one B&D, and the card will be 85 overall. The rest of the sets are pretty much the same. Now let's talk about this Milestones card. Really love to see that we are having two versions of Brent Burns, and both of them have different stats, different X factors, and also both of them offer you some sort of lineup boost. Obviously, the best one would be if you pair Minnesota Wild and Ottawa Senator for +2. You can also pair, let's say, Minnesota Wild defenseman with Avalanche Brent Burns and get +1 in the overall, and you also would get +5 million in the salary cap. Absolutely love the card. And if you look at, let's say, his Minnesota Wild card, 89 speed, 89 acceleration, decent shooting, decent hands, truculence, also born leader, 6'5" defenseman. Like, what else do you need at this stage in the game? And then his, let's say, Colorado Avalanche version have Rocket, also no contest, not so good skating stats. Shooting, I think, is the same, hands are the same, and everything else is pretty much the same. I think the checking stats are a little bit better. But what really sinks is that you cannot go and make this card once again. So the only way of you getting it is going and buying him in the auction house. I think yesterday he was going for like 600k in the auction house, and like, again, who would even buy him? What would be a great idea for that card is that if we could get, let's say, 80 overall card for free in the store, and then we would need to complete multiple different challenges, objectives, moments, maybe for tokens, so we can then after upgrade that card to, let's say, 85 overall at least. That would allow everyone to get at least the card for free with some time spent in the game. And yes, I know the moments probably would be ridiculous, and objectives also would ask you to do 500 shots or 500 hits or whatever they would come up with, but at least there would be an option. At the moment, a lot of the cards they are releasing, there are no any options to make them. They all are great. Like, the content in general, at least the cards they are releasing are all awesome. But like, how do you get them without really spending any money? And I said this multiple times, not everyone enjoys sitting in the auction house for hours trying to make coins. And even someone like me who have 1.2 million coins, I'm not spending half of it for one card, which probably will drop in the price in few weeks. And the last thing I want to talk about is the Champs rewards. Once again, if you're super good at the game, you can get this 86 overall Peter Bondra or 85 overall Peter Bondra. But obviously to get it, you need to get to top 100, and majority of us cannot even get there. Majority of us can barely get 10 wins. And because they also fixed his endurance, now at 86, both for his base icon and also this Champs reward card, like, this is a sick card. I would love to have it on my team, or even this 85 overall version. But unfortunately, there are no sets where you can use your collectibles, so the only way of getting them is a flex, which is also fine. I understand that there should be some sort of reward if you are good at the game, and last year everyone could get an 85 overall each week by just getting 10 wins. But the cards they released for the sets, are they really that good at this point in the game? I was hoping that we will see, let's say, few cards being released every single week. Once again, we have the same players, so hopefully maybe in season 2 they will release the set where we could go and maybe trade in our collectibles for a chance of getting some of the Champs rewards from season 1. Maybe that would be cool, because I know a lot of people would like this Henrik Zetterberg, Peter Bondra, Daniel Alfredsson, or any of these cards. Let me know down in the comment sections below. What do you think about EA not adding new Champs B&D players? It's like, it's cool that we have some options, and let's say, you know, you want Nashville Predators defenseman, you can go and pick him and stuff like that, but these players are there for like, what, all season? I don't think it's enough. But yes, that will do for today's cold takes about content in NHL 26 from this week. Last week, I think I had a lot of positive things to say about the content, and even this week, I think the actual cards released are really good. There are so many cards I would like to try out, but once again, I'm not happy that we cannot really make any of these cards, and all of the objectives or moments they're releasing can be completed in, let's say, 2 hours of game time. I still don't think that the game gives you enough to grind for, and yes, maybe this is good for the casual players or people who can only play 1 or 2 hours a week, but there are a lot of players who love to grind for something. It just feels like there is not enough. Can you imagine if we would have the objectives or moments where we could actually have a chance of getting, let's say, a proper game breaker card, some of the rookie cards, maybe even that milestone Brent Burns? That would just change everything and would make this game mode a little bit more fun. But that's me done with yapping about this week's content. Let me know down in the comment sections below. What do you think about the content being released this week? Did you manage to pick up any of the cards? If yes, who did you pick? And also how he plays for you. As always, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Have a good one and see you on the ice.